Hi there, so I'm going to talk about all of the new 2021 annuals and herb, and if you wait till the very end, I'm going to talk about a few perennial plants that actually resemble an annual. You will be surprised they are perennial here in Ohio. Stick around. So what is an annual? Well, an annual is a plant that performs its entire life cycle in just one growing season. Think of it this way, an annual you have to annually plant it in the garden because it won't come back, but a perennial is something that will perennially come back in your garden. So annuals have this short lifespan for good reason. The amount of energy used to produce the amount of flowers they do actually is at the expense of the root system. So eventually the plant will die at the end of the season. Because of this expenditure of energy, they are quite hungry and will need quite a lot of fertilization. There's a couple different fertilizers we would suggest. One would be Osmocote, which will be mixed into the soil as you plant up your combo pot or in the ground. You can use Plant Tone. You can even go for something like Miracle Grow if that's something you're comfortable with. So why should you plant something that you just have to throw out in September or October? Well, the nice thing about annuals is they offer full all-season color. They will bloom their heads off all season long, whereas most perennial plants have a shorter season of bloom that is often just a few weeks. They're also great for pollinators because they may bloom earlier than a lot of the late blooming perennials do. They provide quick, easy color and are usually relatively very inexpensive. Please keep in mind today that the varieties I am mentioning may not be completely new to you. Some of these are brand new introductions for 2021, and some are plants we just have not carried here at the nursery before. So you might have said, hey, I've grown this before, and that's possible, but most of these items on the list today are brand new 2021 introductions. So today we're gonna start with new varieties of calabrocoa, also known as million bells. You may know those as little flowers that resemble mini little petunias. These are very easy to grow in full sun, but one thing we have noticed is they do better in like combo pots or pots, hanging baskets than in the ground because good drainage is a must for this plant group. The new Super Bell's Coral Sun will bloom all season on cascading growth with no deadheading necessary, and the color is bright coral with a yellow center. From the Chameleon Calabrocoa series comes Blueberry Scone. It is an industry first with ever-changing colors not only through the day, but through the entire season. This very vigorous variety is covered with blue flowers with violet overtones, gold throat, and a burgundy ring. The mini famous Uno Double White is covered with little white double flowers blooming on a semi-trailing to cascading plant. These also bloom all season long. And this year we are offering a brand new type of plant. It is a new cross between calabrocoa and petunia, and it is called a petchoa. This group features the best qualities of each of the plant families, including non-sticky foliage, vigor, and large flowers. The Super Cal Premium Caramel Yellow shines with golden flowers with a coppery red center. This compact plant grows to just 14 to 20 inches tall and wide. Cinnamon is another variety that is dark with a red-orange tint and a brighter, almost pinkish outer edge. The new Sunray Pink looks similar to a typical petunia with large pinkish lavender flowers, while the Super Cal Premium Bordeaux is a dark, deep red with fine veining. Now switching gears to actual petunias, Capella Baby Pink is a new variety with a tight and tidy habit, blooming from spring to frost with light pink flowers and a pale yellow to creamy throat. A new sweet tunia called Miss Fantastic is dramatic, semi-trailing with pretty dark burgundy flowers with a lighter pink edge. The new Saguna Radiant Rose is a patio type of petunia, bred to be more compact and mounding. The flowers are two-toned with a white center fading to a vibrant fuchsia outer edge. Hippie Chick Violet is a member of the Red Carpet collection brought to us by Danziger, which is a seed or a plant manufacturer. The unique bloom shape will grab your attention, and the vigorous growth habit makes it ideal for hanging baskets and patio pots. The ruffled flowers are bright violet purple surrounded by a white pickety edge. And it looks like we're getting one more variety in the Sky Series petunia. You may be familiar with Night Sky and Pink Sky. Well, now we get Main Stage Glacier Sky. This trailing petunia is covered with darker purple flowers with white specks and a showy pickety edge. So this next one I am very excited about, probably one of my favorites from this list, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to have one. It is a new gomphrena called Cosmic Flare from Peachtree Farms. The bright lance-shaped chartreuse leaves are showcased by globe-shaped magenta orbs dancing above the foliage all summer long. These plants grow to 24 inches tall and wide and are attractive to both bees and butterflies, so it's one of those musts for the pollinator garden. So far we've talked about a lot of plants for sun, so let's get into something for shade. Caladium Carolyn Wharton. This type of plant is grown for its showy leaves, but adds nice texture and color to a mixed container for the shade. The vivid leaves are heart-shaped, pink on the inside with red veining and a dark green margin. It states it can get 18 to 30 inches tall. I've never had a caladium get that big. They really don't grow much for me, so I'm sure it's possible, but with the first season, I would expect a plant that grows a little shorter than that. Another plant for shade or part shade grown mainly for its foliage is coleus, and this year we have 3 new varieties. The new Marrakesh has unusually shaped leaves and an impeccable habit. The amber, copper, lime, and dark crimson would complement so many colors in a mixed container. Just think of it as saffron, paprika, and old world spices rolling together on this very unique plant for a shade or part shade. Main Street Beale Street is an award-winning variety with outstanding deep red foliage that holds very well. The rich color won't fade, bleach, or get spotty as the season moves along. Now, it will produce flowers, but very late in the season if desired. If you don't want those, just cut the flower stalks off as they mature. A new proven winter's coleus called Limon Blush is unlike anything I have ever seen, with unique yellow, pink, and chartreuse green serrated leaves. This one will also grow in sun or shade, up to 2 to 3 feet tall. So the next plant is impatiens. Yes, plain old impatiens. I know that's not very exciting, but there's a lot of exciting things happening in the breeding of these impatiens. I would say back in 2013, possibly even before, there was a huge issue with downy mildew on impatiens. And we warned you, if you wanted to grow these impatiens, you would have to spray and spray and spray with a fungicide to prevent the issue. And I thought, hey, I'm just gonna wait, because I figured somehow and somewhere a breeder is going to figure it out and give us a downy mildew resistant impatient. And guess what? We have it, and they are called beacon impatient. There will be 6 different colors of this beacon impatient series, and they will be available here in 8-inch pots and hanging baskets. Next is a new Gerbera daisy, beating out any of its competitors with a larger plant and larger flowers. Mega Revolution Select Mixture is an improved Gerbera daisy with a plethora of brightly colored flowers that are great as little gifts, or in a mixed container, or in a small pot by itself. Bidens, which is often underused, has a nice mounded habit and is great in a container by itself. The bold orange flowers of the new Beezer Firewheel have a center that fades to yellow. Give this one lots of sun and very well-drained soil. I'd say another one of my favorites is Margarita White Spoon, which is a new osteospermum with a nice branching habit and flower shape. The daisy-like flowers with spoon-shaped petals have purple details, and these also are very attractive to butterflies. In the same series, Margarita Blue Sunrise has the typical osteospermum type flower without the spoon shape, but with a pretty bluish lavender flower color that fades to creamy white at the edge. Now, if you're like us here at the nursery and you love those big growing begonias, we usually plant them out front near the street every year because they just get a great show. Then I think Begonia Viking XL Red on Chocolate should definitely be on your radar. The large, uniquely colored dark leaves show off the red flowers all season long. These can be planted in sun or shade, and you'll perform no matter where you plant them. They can grow up to 34 inches tall by 36 inches wide. Definitely give them that amount of space to grow. So everyone knows what a geranium is, right? Well, this year there are 2 brand new colors in the old run-of-the-mill plain old geranium. The first is Rosalie Antique Salmon, a zonal type with a double soft pink, almost rosebud-like flowers. And Americana Violet Ice with vibrant violet-hued rounded clusters of flowers with frosty white accents on a plant that grows 14 to 16 inches tall and wide. Now heading into the tropical realm, a new mandevilla from Sun Parasol collection called Mite Buster is a naturally resistant to mites, a common problem that plagues mandevillas. The leaves are leaf spot resistant too, and this one blooms in a beautiful red shade. Now one that could be used as a tropical or an annual is agapanthus, and this year we have a new variety called Baby Pete. It's a unique compact variety blooming weeks earlier than other agapanthus types. The blue flower clusters rise just above the short clumps of green leaves. This one rarely sets seed pods, resulting in a longer bloom period. This one is best in full sun, and it does like regular water. Now getting to a few edibles in the annual family, a new basil that has been produced by Rutgers University in New Jersey is called Rutgers Obsession. This sweet basil is vigorous with a high leaf to stem ratio and is best of all is highly resistant to downy mildew with intermediate resistance to fusarium wilt. This is one on my list that's definitely gonna make it to my garden. In the summer, I just love a caprese salad. Get your fresh mozzarella, your fresh piece of basil, balsamic drizzle, and sliced fresh Ohio-grown tomatoes. What a great treat. So Melanie, our greenhouse sales manager, gave me a list of a couple new veggie plants we're gonna have this year. I'd like to start with a broccoli called Artwork. It is a stir-fry broccoli, kind of reminds me of broccolini. This one has only recently become available to home gardeners. Previously, the baby broccoli was exclusively available to gourmet markets and upscale restaurants. Artwork starts out similar to a regular crown of broccoli, but after harvesting the first crown, easy to harvest, tender, and tasty side shoots continue to appear long in the season. So this one would be fun to grow, add to your stir fries or just as a side dish. Veronica Romanesco cauliflower is a neat one. This is a green, almost spiky looking cauliflower. These you plant 18 inches apart to give the large plants adequate space. They have a slightly nutty flavor and are more flavorful than the typical white variety of cauliflower. And there's a new pepper series from the Fresh Bite series available in orange, red, and yellow. These are those little peppers. A lot of times, like at the grocery store, you'll see like a plastic bag of all these little peppers in it. That's what they remind me of. They're perfect for, fresh eating, chopping, stuffing. The plants are highly productive and compact, and this particular variety or series does very well in containers. Now, I've never grown pumpkins myself, but it's definitely something I want to do. Of course, sometimes I've had vines come up from a pumpkin my son might have left out from last fall. But pumpkins can be a little pricey on the pricey side in fall, like if you want to decorate with them or if you want to make those really cool pumpkin stacks. We do have a new pumpkin that it would be a stacker pumpkin, a white one, and it is called White Flat Boar Ford. These produce 10 to 15 pound flatter and scalloped white pumpkins. And apparently it says they do not bleach out or yellow over time. And if you do want to eat them, they do have like a sweet orange flesh. And on the other side, there is a new rounded white pumpkin called Casper. It produces 15 pound pumpkins that are good for baking or pies. And these would be really good for carving or even painting because of their white color. A new tomato called Sunrise Sauce is very similar in shape to a Roma tomato, but orange. They are perfect for sauce and fresh eating. The vines are low maintenance, compact, and resistant to both fusarium wilt and verticillium wilt. Now, since you stuck around, I thought I'd get to those perennial plants that resemble annuals. And the first one on my list is a strawberry plant. Normally these are, not only we put them out in the perennial house, we have them in the fruit section, and we have them in the annual house. So even though they are there, they are perennial along with all the other strawberry plants. But this one in particular, we had last spring for the first time, the Buried Treasure Red. Well, this year we get Buried Treasure Pink and Buried Treasure White. These things performed, and I had them in my yard garden too, they performed better than I could have ever imagined. Not only are they vigorous, you get blooms all season long, and you get fruit almost all season long, and the fruit is really good. Now, on their website, Proven Winners does have a few suggestions. They say to keep the soil evenly moist during the growing season, and apparently these varieties really love fertilizers, so feed them well. And don't forget, these are hardy perennials and they will return year after year. I actually have some strawberry plants, not this particular variety, but some older varieties in a hanging basket. I put them out for spring and summer and fall, let them get sun, let them get water, and then when winter comes, I actually place the whole hanging basket near the corner of the house, so it's protected. So these do very well in raised beds, hanging baskets, or in the ground. And I wanted to finish today with one more plant that is assumed to be an annual, but no, it is a perennial ornamental banana called Bass Jew, and this plant is spectacular. Now, as you can see from the pictures, these plants get very tall and very wide, so give them plenty of room. They are very easy to grow. Really all you have to do is in fall, when the frost hits the foliage and they wilt a little bit, you can start cutting that back. And then make sure you mulch well over the winter, because even though these are hardy plants, they would benefit from a layer of mulch. I think these plants would be really, really neat around a swimming pool to give that nice tropical look. Okay, so that's it for this video. Please let us know in the comments below which one of these plants really caught your eye and is something you're thinking about adding to your garden this season. Again, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.